It's all Thanos.
He's the alien they
You
knew
guys knew
about.
Thanos was a Catholic, right?
Snap your fingers and molest half of Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's why I feel like Rumpelstiltskin was the first one to ever be circumcised.
That's pretty good. I like that.
It doesn't
Coming in hot.
It doesn't matter what I say. He always laughs.
Yeah, sometimes he dies like
I
this,
could just
too.
say I could just be like, and that's why I think purple is a pretty color, and he'll just lose his shit.
I think it's good that you got to gas your homies up, man. That's good.
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
Hunter, you going to be all right over there?
Gas your homies up 2018.
I'm dying quicker than anybody else in the room. It's fine.
Well, we appreciate your honesty about it, at least. Okay, guys, we're at the Beacon House Podcast here, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Spence.
I'm Casey.
I'm Hunter.
Guys, we have a very special guest for you today, none other than Mr. Sean Ireland. Sean, introduce
Oh,
yourself
Lord.
to the
Hello.
to the listeners.
I am Sean Ireland. I'm a photographer. I'm also the president of the Pam Beasley is Trash fan club.
There you go.
Website and podcast coming soon on that one.
all of a sudden, we just had this weird decrease, and then even weirder, higher
Rebounds.
increase
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
fucking followers.
It's the Sean effect.
Yeah,
is
it's
what we're gonna
perfect.
call it.
Perfect.
Now, how do you spell Sean?
Sean.
Thank you. That's the only way to
the
spell
proper
it.
way. It was
That's-
almost Seamus, I believe, and then my parents decided something a little less embarrassing. Maybe I don't know. I don't know any kids named Seamus. What the hell is that?
My first name is Sean, and it's spelled Sean.
Hey,
That's the only way to do it.
I'll put my beer up against whatever you're drinking.
That's
and
coffee.
Cheers, yeah.
I feel like I've been fed a lie for so many years right now.
Hunter over there. Hunter's like
your life is alive.
Hunter's grabbing both sides of his head, and he's like, "Where's the H? Where's the
yeah,
H?"
yeah.
I get it. I'm wondering about that, too. I used to know a girl that was real sensitive about the spelling of the word Megan, and if she had friends, she would call them like Miagan and Megahan and whatever. She was just like, you're not fucking Megan, because her name was literally Megan.
Oh, so our parents were
appreciate
lazy.
that.
Got it.
I believe there's something classically funny about phonetically pronouncing every word you see. Just and say it as it reads. Just go with it.
I agree totally. So, dude, what have you been up to, man? You're one of the busiest guys. Tell everybody what you've been doing and what you're getting ready to do.
Well, this past year, I guess we'll start out. I shoot photography for festivals and artists, mostly DJs. I used to shoot all the concert photography at the International. Rest in peace, the International.
Rest in peace.
Well, no, we've been out to Vegas for EDC at the racetrack out there for 4 days. We went to Electric Forest for 4 days. I just got back from Baltimore last week at Moonrise at the racetrack.
Far out.
Going to outside of Columbus for a huge electronic festival that Excision throws called Lost Lands.
Oh, man. Excision is mind-blowing.
They have life-size dinosaurs all over the festival grounds
Oh, God.
and volcanoes. And last year the place almost burnt down, but it was amazing. Imagine Festival in Atlanta's right after that. And then we're going to Red Rocks, October. And then hopefully back to Florida for EDC Orlando.
Yep.
And I think that should round out the year, maybe.
Shit.
Maybe.
I got a question. Did you go to Fire Festival?
I did not. No, I was not tricked
dodged
into
a bullet.
and I'm a huge Ja Rule guy too, so I was very disappointed in his actions.
Oh, that thing.
Oh, that's the
involved with
fake
that.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
fucking... Yeah, I've heard of
The
that.
island where people are
McFarlane's
stuck.
going to jail for a
Yes,
very
yeah,
long
that guy,
time.
yeah. And this is the funny thing about that. Well, I don't know if it's funny, but it's kind of, yeah, it's funny. While that guy was out on bail for the charges he got for Fire Festival, he committed some other huge fraudulent scheme while he was out on bail for committing fraud.
I
So
really
he's
want
got,
I really want somebody like who's a police officer dressed up undercover just to be like, no, we're gonna do this festival. It's gonna be great. And then he gets there and it's prison.
yeah, there you go.
And like,
VIP.
they're like, oh, how does that feel?
He's gay. He's gonna have all access in
Yeah.
that jail.
Shit, man! Like I think when you and I we had lunch, and we were talking about. I believe you were talking about the fake festivals there, and there was like a new one coming up or something. You showed me like the website or something.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't even remember what that one was called, but there was something that just got. There was a group of people doing something in New York
Yeah.
a couple years ago that ended up tanking, and the same thing happened to them again this year. Guys make all these connects and all these bookings, and then when it's time to put the money up, they're 6 figures short, and then it's due to unforeseen circumstances. Yeah.
When everybody's already bought like $100-$200 ticket,
Yeah.
and they like fly to some fucking place, and it's supposed to be this big thing, and they get there, and it's just like folding tables and bologna sandwiches,
Cheese
and like,
sandwiches.
yeah, it's just fucking terrible, man. Like,
It really is terrible. I mean, and even taking advantage of people who are just trying to have a good time and listen to some music is just, man, it takes a whole.
It's
whole
reprehensible.
different-
I get
it's
it. I
terrible.
totally get it. God, man. But you were talking about how you can kind of spot it. They're like, if you see the website and it looks shady, or if it's got a lot
Oh,
of like,
sure. There's festivals that, I mean, the festivals are like, what, it's coming up in a month and you don't even have a lineup.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it might be a little bit of a red
to be
flag
announced,
there. Yeah.
artists,
Or
you know?
just wait till the second year of that festival.
Sure.
Wait until
Yeah.
every time it's like the second annual.
But
And you're
what
like,
if-
all right, well, clearly they went through one, so let's try
What if
this
the
one.
Sure.
festival gave you a compliment in your phone, though, and sent you a
I
link?
swear to God. All right, hold on a second. So he posted
what the fuck is he
Hunter
talking
and
about?
Libby both posted this thing where the Knoxville County
Reposted.
Police Department, it was a repost, are basically warning people about this phishing scam where someone texts you from a random number and it says someone special complimented you on this link, and you click on the link, download an app, and it steals all your information.
Yep.
And they were like, "Yo, guys, be careful." And I was like, "Who the fuck is that dumb to get a text from a number they don't know and go, oh, someone complimented me. I want to see what they said."
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Out of the kindness of my heart, I
First
won't
of
give
all,
names.
First of all,
I reposted.
He's like,
oh, you already know somebody?
Yeah,
It's like, I've
I
got a list.
reposted for good reason.
Oh well, whoever that person is, if they're listening to this, here's things that you do.
Now,
You know who you are, and I
be
still love
nice,
you.
Casey. Be nice.
Absolutely not. Here's the
I
steps
will
that you
text
do.
people compliments all
If
day.
you have a cell
Do
phone, if you have a cell phone that has a ton of information, your personal information on it, and you get a random text from a number you don't know with a link, don't click that link. You don't know that number, delete that text message. And if you happen to click that link and it tells you to download an app, don't download that app. It's not going to be good for you. Nothing has ever been texted by a number that you don't know and ended in a
Ever.
proper
No.
happiness ending. Like it doesn't
Yes.
happen.
Well, we
I-
got the TV show Catfish from it.
I hate you so much.
and the here you go. He's got a shirt that says claws instead of jaws, which would
And
literally
it's a cat and a
be
mouse instead of a
a
shark and a human.
catfish.
That-
That would be
That is
a
actually
shark with
true.
a
That's
cat
accurate.
head,
I came
which
just
is
to
actually
promote
how
the
I
shirt.
prefer my catfish to look. I think that's more aesthetically pleasing. Just a cat head and a fish body.
Fish body, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see at the freak show at the like
Sure.
right next to the giant rat, which is just a capybara.
So whoever
Yeah.
it is that you know that clicked on that link and downloaded
Nobody in
that
the
app,
South knows what a fucking capybara is. Drag this thing around and put it on display, you know? Fucking thing's dying of like heat exhaustion in there.
Jesus.
So whoever you know that clicked on that link and downloaded that app and had all their information stolen, hopefully now will be more paranoid and more cautious about random text messages from people they don't know.
sound like a liability to me. I think you should completely cut them out of your life forever.
Yeah, it's time. Rip the Band-Aid.
If they're your parents, I would emancipate immediately.
Hey, you're old enough; you can just cut them
Oh
out.
God!
Yeah.
yeah, but
Luckily, not my parents.
don't click. There's a lot of scams out there, man. I started getting a call recently from it was like a weird like 9.5 digit fucking phone number, and it was from like Saudi Arabia or something. It called me for 3 straight days, and finally I was just like, I got fed up with it, and I was gonna block it, but I was like, what? I just kind of want to know, and I answered it, and of course it's this like guy telling me that I've won all this money from the government and
Dude, that's amazing. How much was it?
$9,000.
Did you collect it?
He goes, the government has selected you to receive $9,000 because of
The government, no
Yeah.
less.
And I was like, really? That's not how the government works. And he
No.
was like, well, all you have to do is call this number and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm going to report you to the FBI. And I had pulled it up too. And it was like a real well-known scam, you know. And I was like, you're not fooling anybody. In fact, you're really bad at this. Like, I'm going to give you some personal advice. Don't stop doing this.
Yeah.
Go sell fucking bread or ding-dongs or something. Just go join a car wash. Just anything. You're not good on the phone, pal.
They won't let him into the car wash. That's why.
There's a lot of scamming in festival tickets where people list tickets and say they got them, they can't go for whatever reason, you know,
Yeah.
and they want you to Venmo them money, not PayPal, because they've had problems with PayPal. Which, AKA, yeah, you tried to scam someone on PayPal and it didn't work, you know.
Yeah.
And they'll send you pictures of random people holding driver's licenses that I reverse Google image search, and doesn't show up. And I'm like, man, this dude's pretty good. But then you keep pressing them and want to call them on the phone, and they kind of start to back off. But
I think my biggest complaint about the text message scam is I don't know who cares enough to get a text message that says someone has complimented you, and you go, shit, I want to see what they said.
Dude, have you seen how fucking married to their phones everybody
do you
is?
live in America?
Oh shit, that's all people give a fuck about.
This is America.
Check your compliments out, you disgusting piece of shit.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Like
someone complimented you for once, you fucking loser. Better pull out your phone and hit that red
and
button.
obsess over it. Yeah,
Right?
hit that bell.
I guess I just don't care enough. Maybe that's it.
You're the one guy in a million that does it. Everybody's looking at their phone trying to get likes.
When I get a text like that, somebody complimented you, I'm like, yeah, of course they did. Yeah, no shit. Every day, all day long.
Nailed it.
God.
I'm amazing at everything.
In fact,
I do.
it's about 3 seconds late. I should have had that a minute ago.
We should probably check and see how many likes I have already on this because I'm obsessed with that.
Exactly.
We'll let you know. Don't worry.
We'd be
gonna be a lot.
at 500 if this was live right now. It's
Gonna be amazing.
I think this is exactly the culture where a scam like that works. Where somebody goes, somebody liked you, and they go, ooh,
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
lonely,
yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
emotionally vacant. You know?
I like to look at human beings like as if it's a nature documentary, right? So like now this is the play of the predator, right? Is to put out this nice bait, you know what I'm saying? So hey, come and check this out. It smells great. It looks great. It's shiny. It's it's whatever. And then you walk over that thing and wham,
There you go.
dinner.
You'll never guess what this guy found in his basement. Click to find out.
Yeah.
It was black mold. I have your credit card number.
You
Yeah.
never interfere, right? You only observe. Is that right?
No, I think I interfere in certain scenarios. For the most part, I like to be a conscientious objector to the human condition. I guess just
I know that's good.
keep your human condition the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
which is weird. You know, going around and traveling and having to deal with all these people, but for the most part, it's just away from all the people, which is weird. I don't know.
Dude,
I'd
tell
rather
us a
observe
little bit about photography, man. Like, what's it like? What's photography like in 2018? Like,
A lot
we're
of
all
watermarks.
We're just.
It's
stuck
a lot of
behind these cell phones.
It's a lot of handwritten cursive watermarks right now. It's the hot thing.
Yeah.
I actually went to the University of Tennessee. Go Vols. Fuck West Virginia. I said yesterday it's the opioid dependence bowl is what it's going to be known as from now on. It's pretty brutal, right? But I went to UT and I did photography there, and as I was going through was basically the introduction of, not to give away my age because I'm so young and dashing, was the introduction of digital cameras was about halfway through when I was at UT. Like I was doing all darkroom stuff, which I think they might still probably intro you into that with darkroom. But I was using I believe it was my parents' wedding gift, like 78 Pentax film camera through college. And they started to introduce digital cameras right toward the end of it. And by the time I graduated, it was like, scrap that film camera. I mean, it's good for, art and conceptual stuff like that. But if you're talking about being a professional, efficient photographer,
Right.
You need to shoot 1,000 pictures a day. And you're not doing that with film. It's too expensive. And all the digitals, you're getting instant results.
Dude, thanks for saying that too.
That's
That's kind of a recurring theme on this podcast. People have talked about what do you like? Remember on one of our mailbag episodes, somebody was like, "What do you think like effort versus like raw talent or whatever?" And we were all just like, "Fucking talent is a complete myth, almost without practice."
I'm glad you said that. I'm a complete atheist and nihilist. So when someone says he has a lot of God-given talent, I'm like, well, I don't believe in God. So
where's that talent coming from?
A lot of talents disguised as hard work, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it is.
Exactly. We've constantly been like that. Like I'm glad you said you got to shoot a shitload of pictures.
I mean,
every
my talent didn't shoot 19,000 pictures this year.
Fucking you did.
Yeah. The effort and the work and all that.
You
stuff
skipped something to shoot those pictures. You could have been watching a show.
Sure.
Could have been sleeping. Yeah, I get it.
So, it's the same with anything. It's the same with music, and it's the same with fixing cars, and I mean it's the same with all kinds of stuff. I mean, people get breaks and opportunities in right place, right time, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know that many people get to where they need to be without working hard. You can obviously work hard and not get there, but I don't really think you're ever going to get there if you don't, unless you're a Kardashian maybe. And
yeah.
she's sucking dick on camera.
Hey, all the recovery that comes after those surgeries is still worth. Like, don't.
I guess it probably hurt. It did hurt a little.
I like that. That's outpatient. That's work. Yeah.
That's shitty.
You go home the same day.
So, and then after I graduated, I actually moved out to California for a little bit, and was just setting up art exhibits. And I moved to California. What was it, 2008? Like right as the entire economy collapsed. I moved to the most expensive place in fucking America because I got a really good education in college. I guess is what I can blame that on. Jesus Christ. But and then back to Pennsylvania for a little bit, and then back down to Tennessee, and me and a couple buddies of mine who actually we've kind of climbed up the ladder together, started throwing shows for hip hop and electronic bands, and along with Midnight Voyage with Brian Coakley. I mean, This is Big Gigantic and Excision, and some big names that were playing at 90 Proof in the old city.
Yeah, totally.
200 people. I think Pretty Lights played a show at World Grotto. 30 people there.
God.
Nobody knew who the hell he was.
I used to play at World Grotto.
So this is, the electronic scene in general, I mean, Brian Coakley and a lot of people in Knoxville, were right there at the beginning of it,
Yeah.
So I started, getting involved with agents and labels and artists coming through and just building those relationships and photographing, promoting, bartending, doing everything involved with the shows. And then, that turned into shooting at the International. And then a buddy of mine, Perry Davis, who works for 24/8 Management in Nashville with a guy named Dexter Palmer. They have Hero Bust and some pretty big electronic names. A guy from Europe, Spag Hetty, Dub Loads, a couple guys that, again, all kind of just started coming up. I mean, these guys all played through Knoxville.
Sure.
And now they're playing Lollapalooza and EDC and Electric Forest and main stage at Bonnaroo and stuff like that. And it's
amazing.
Yeah, and now it's just, hey, do you want to come out and shoot? Sure, let's do it. And, work out all the travel and all that kind of stuff. And hell, like I said, we've been to Vegas, Michigan, Atlanta, New York, Nashville.
I feel like the last time I saw you, you had just gotten back from Vegas.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because I think we had a brunch at some point in time. I believe that was in May, probably.
Yes.
I also just got back from New York, too. I shoot a lot of food as well for
Really?
a lot of guys around town. Yeah, we went to New York with Joseph Len from J.C. Holdway.
Okay.
Matt Gallagher. He does Amelia and Knox Mason. Drew McDonald from the Plaid Apron.
Oh, yeah.
And Jesse Neumeister from Kaizen and Taco Taco.
Oh, I just went to Taco Taco 2 fucking
all
days
of
ago.
their no disrespect to any other guys, but I think Kaizen is my favorite lunch spot in Knoxville. I love Jesse's cooking. I love all their cooking.
Yeah.
We all went into New York in April, right before EDC, and just did a whole food thing at the James Beard House. And I come back down here and shoot food and eat great food and fly around and go to festivals. And
must be rough.
There are worse ways to live for sure.
Yeah, I guess.
That sounds terrible. Shit,
Oh
dude.
my god.
Dude, Kaizen has the octopus fritters.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
Well,
It's
Taco
the-
Taco has an octopus taco.
Yeah.
Anyways, the octopus fritter.
It's the only octopus story I have, you fucking dick face.
Octopus is my number one animal on the planet Earth, by the way, if you want
Really?
to talk animal rankings later.
Really?
But yeah,
Ooh.
I think octopus is number one.
They are the smartest.
Let's get him there. Finish your octopus story, Casey.
No, I just wanted to say, the first time I had it, the texture was incredibly awkward. I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. But I couldn't stop. I was like,
Is it like
more.
calamari? I feel like it'd be like calamari, like kind of chewy.
Yes, probably
Kinda
maybe a
chewy.
little more so.
Got it.
But yeah, I love Jesse's food. Those what are they? Those rice buns down there at Kaizen for lunch are amazing. I just had
I get the katsu chicken.
a soft shell crab open faced po' boy down there last weekend.
Oh,
my
God.
god!
That sounds amazing.
Oh, I'm going.
Every time I eat his food, I call my mother and say, "I hate you." It's really really amazing stuff. But yeah, we went up there to visit Knoxville and do some food stuff. But yeah, the music stuff is definitely it's really entertaining. It's really fun.
Well, so you travel. I mean, obviously, you probably sitting here right now probably travel more than anybody I know, except maybe other guys that are in like bands
In
and
the
stuff.
same industry, the same kind of industry. Yeah.
Where are some of your favorite places you've been?
Festival wise, I'd have to say, I mean, the EDC Las Vegas is one of those just crazy, amazing things just production wise. But as far as just general atmosphere of being somewhere, Electric Forest is probably the best place I've ever been. Been to.
Wasn't it back in the day, Rothbury?
Yeah. String Cheese started this festival. They play a set every night, which, gosh, the set they played one night, they had synchronized drones in the sky while they're shooting off fireworks, like lining up and making all these patterns. And just like, I mean, you're in the middle of the woods. Every single tree has a mirror, a laser beam, a fog machine, a light, something on it. I mean, and like the deeper you go into it, the more woods it gets. It's really primal. I mean, there's a lot of people in there.
That sounds amazing.
Quotes, air quotes, primal. Like it's a lot of naked bodies, a lot of wild ass people in there.
You're basically in Blade Runner at that point, just fucking like wilding out. You know?
I've been to Moonrise in Baltimore. I grew up in Pennsylvania, just about an hour north of Baltimore, so I'm familiar with that area. The festival they have there on the racetrack, Moonrise, is a really, really nice festival. It's only 2 days, which I like. The older I get, I mean, the harder it is to go.
Tell me about it.
4 and 5 days of trekking these festivals.
I know.
But just the food up there is what I really love. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Baltimore, but
I have.
Right on the Chesapeake, the oysters, the crabs, like everything's
insane.
It's so good. It's so
insane.
Good. Hangout Fest. I liked Hangout before Live Nation and MTV kind of took over it.
Sure.
The first couple years down there, just some really like under the radar guys. Like Kendrick Lamar was playing like the third stage down there. I think in 2013 maybe or something. But that's right on the beach, which is kind of unique. Not many festivals. I think maybe insurance purposes for having 30,000 people on the beach. But
I want to say the first time I heard it, I don't know if it was the first time, but early on in that entire thing, I remember it was like Foo Fighters on one end of the beach and Bassnectar on the other end of the beach. And I had some friends that were down there, and I just remember like, fuck.
Yeah, that Bassnectar set down there was really wild. I'd like to get out of the country. That's the next goal, I think. I know a lot of guys play in Australia and China now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Canada, too. Canada's a big bass capital, actually. There's a lot of guys out of Canada, Excision's from Canada, I believe.
Huh.
But they just threw a Bass Canyon up there. It's a venue called The Gorge in Vancouver, I believe, somewhere in British Columbia. And you're literally like backed up to, looks like the Grand Canyon. Like it's freaking amazing, you know?
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, Red Rocks, I'm really pumped for Red Rocks. I've never been there. I've been to Denver, never been to Red Rocks, but everybody I know that's been there is top five in the world.
Yeah, that's what everybody I know says
amazing.
too.
It's amazing.
And anytime anybody that I like goes there, they shoot a fucking live concert video there.
Every single time.
They get to Red Rocks. Red Rocks. Put this on, that's the one that's going to be on the shelf.
Actually, I watched Flowbots live at Red Rock. And I like to watch their whole set, and it was awesome. And I was like, I want to go there. Like that's the only place. I'm not real big, as we've talked before. Maybe the episode hasn't come out yet, but I'm not real big on live music, but I think that going to Red Rock would be
not big on live music. Are you a robot? Is he a robot?
I might be a robot.
We asked him a lot of questions about what we kind of determined it again to be featured in another episode.
Upcoming episode.
We decided that he just doesn't like loud,
scary things,
bands.
Things.
Yeah,
I think Casey likes pre-recorded music that's being played like DJ type stuff, or like not like a live band with like loud cymbals and drums. When he walks into a bar and he wants to talk, and there's like some guy setting up. And
yeah. Well, yeah.
Like I mean, Casey obviously likes. Casey was.
How dare their music interrupt his evening? How dare
that? Yeah.
I mean, I used to dance at when it was a Valerium. Like International. I used to be in a banana outfit.
Fucking Slink put him in the banana outfit. He was Bass Banana.
Oh man.
Yeah, he went every fucking weekend. He was like Darla's henchman. He would chase the other chicks off the stage.
I think
I've seen so many great shows at the Valerium too. NERD was there. I think De La Soul was there. I believe before.
I saw the very last one. I saw Anthrax there. The last
I shot Anthrax there.
Did you?
Yeah, I shot Guar there a couple months before that.
Whoa.
What a pain in the ass.
I saw Mastodon at the Valerium.
Shit.
I saw Mastodon at the Valerium way back when it was still the Valerium and not International. I thought that show was fine.
How are you going to be like, I went to a Mastodon show, but I don't like live music?
I don't know.
What?
I think it's the older I get, the more my hearing is like, ooh, no, it's too loud.
I appreciate that honesty.
You said Gore was not fun?
Well, the thing about Guar is with all the theatrics.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They make it a point to, which I love the concept. I just happen to be on the receiving end of the brutality, I guess is what you would call it.
With probably a really expensive camera.
Whoever doesn't want to get dirty is who they're trying to get dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the whole fucking point, right? So I'm down there in a poncho in a plastic bag, and it's just like, oh, the camera guy, yeah, we're gonna get you. So 30 seconds to do it, I'm getting jacked off on by the fucking Bam Margera or whoever the hell they were chopping the head off of, whatever fucking night I saw him. It's like, God. Oh, we're gonna chop Donald Trump's head off right in front of you and make sure we just douse your camera.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little difficult.
I mean, I've got friends. I've seen Guar like three or four times.
I've seen him twice in Knoxville, actually.
And everybody I would go with, we would wear like clothes that we never plan on wearing again.
Sure.
Or clothes we intentionally plan on wearing. Like we would wear like white everything so that it would get stained by Guar, and then you could say, oh, this shirt looks like this because Guar took a dump on
Plus,
it. Plus,
the last time I saw him, lead singer, what's his name?
Odorous.
He passed, so it was a different...
Dave Brocky, I think was the guy.
A different lead singer, I believe.
Wasn't it a female lead singer for a while?
It might be now, or it might be a guy now, but they replaced him.
Big fat guys who was doing it.
Yeah.
But obviously theatrics production-wise, I love that kind of shit. But it's just a little difficult.
Trying to work anywhere close to the stage. Fuck that.
Yeah. And that's the one, there's a lot of, restrictions when I go some places just because of the pyro and all that kind of stuff where it's like, hey, I'm going to go down here in the pit up front here and shoot this. They're like, yeah, just give it a minute because we're about to burn 100 pounds of magnesium sulfate or whatever. Like, you want to turn to James Hetfield out front, so it's like, all right, yeah, I'll give it a minute. And like,
shit.
Dude,
man.
That's amazing.
I've almost been hit by a confetti cannon before. The security guard. The security guards are really nice. I make it a point to as soon as I get there to go and fist bump all the security guys and find out where
keep it fair,
the
man.
cannons are and the fire is, and all that kind of shit. You can't out here looking like an amateur. So that's probably the first thing is being conscious of everything else that's more important than you. Like I should be invisible essentially. So make sure you know where all the cords are, where all the pyro is, where everybody's stuff is. You don't want to be kicking beers onto a set of CDJs.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Well, dude, I'll tell you something, and I'm going to ask this. I know people who listen to this are going to want me to ask you this. What advice would you give to somebody that's kind of just now starting out in photography, and maybe they've just been taking photos on like an iPhone, and they want to kind of graduate, and they want to kind of like follow it a little bit? What's a good jumping off point? What would you say to somebody kind of starting out?
Well, the first thing I would do is not go to college for it. I think college is great. I think college is great. I think college is great for certain things.
That's very fair.
I think that I would have rather spent 4 years taking pictures on a nice camera instead of, photography lectures and color theory stuff and watercolor painting, which I took and crushed, by the way, because I'm amazing at everything.
Fucking A.
Clay sculptures. I'm like throwing ceramic cups and making mugs and shit, So for certain things, obviously, I think college and extended education is important. But for a lot of trades, you need to do it. Sure. So I would, if you're going to invest in a camera, just start going out and doing it. A lot of venues, I don't, if you ask them to go shoot a show for free, I just want to come and shoot it, blah, 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 they'll let you do it. They don't care. Some of the obviously bigger acts, like when you go to apply for, Marilyn Manson, they're not just going to take any idiot off the street. But a lot of local stuff, like they'll let you do it. So you got to get out there and do it, A lot of it with most things is connections,
Networking,
I mean, I didn't start doing this year. We were booking artists that I'm shooting for 6-7 years ago. And so it's people want it's a get rich quick, instant gratification society, which doesn't really mesh well with long term success. So
100%.
It's just a lot of work, and a lot of emails and a lot of rejection, and just a lot of practice and a lot of practice. I'm lucky enough to have people that are somewhat plugged in, that can hire me and can provide me with opportunities to do it. But it's still a ton of work on my end. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of just mistakes. I shoot 1,000 photos in an hour. You got to figure a couple of them are going to turn out good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just say just to get out and just to do it is step one. Obviously, learning your camera and the functions and the simple things involved with photography, like shutter speeds, film speeds, aperture. Those kind of things are essential. But you can learn that stuff in a YouTube video. You know, you can learn that stuff
Right.
I message guys that I want to be like and ask them questions, and they answer me. Hey, what's the focal length on that photo? You know, hey, what's your shutter speed right there? Hey, what kind of camera are you using? You know, and these guys answer you. You know, I don't think a lot of guys that I've asked or talked to, they're not shy with the information. You know, they're not real divas. A lot of these photo guys are like, I feel like sound engineers, light engineer guys, like they like to talk about it, you know, all the time. So I ask a lot of people a lot of questions online. You know, I see people that are way better than me, and I'm still trying to be where they are. So I ask people who are where you want to be, you know, how they got there and what their advice is.
Absolutely. Rule number 1 is don't fucking listen to anybody unless they're doing better than you.
Yeah.
Like if you got some guy that's like trying to give you all this advice and his fucking life is in the toilet, or he's not, you know, you're like, you just gave him a ride somewhere, you know, like, hang on a second, buddy.
Well, it's like you don't want to ever be the smartest person in the room, really. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Damn right.
Oh my God, that's great.
And a lot of, I feel that way about a lot of, when you get sucked into a lot of like social media threads and debates where it's like.
I feel like that's when we first started this podcast. I don't know about these two, but everybody wanted to tell me how to do a podcast. And my only question was, how's your podcast going? And they're like, oh, I don't have one. I'm like, well,
there you go.
If I don't listen to your advice, don't be, too butthurt about it.
Sure.
Shit, I feel like these days fucking everybody has one. Like I'm hearing about like people that just that, you know, like celebrities and stuff that I follow on Twitter or whatever occasionally. They've all got one now. Like it's just it's kind of intimidating because there's so many fucking podcasts out there. But I still think like anything, just like with like bands, you know, like with or whatever, probably photographers too. The more the market gets saturated, the more that the cream sort of rises to the top too. Because you know what I mean? Like that quality perspective, I think it's going to be the same. So hopefully, as long as we have a good podcast, we won't, you know, become mediocre.
It doesn't even need to be good. We sound decent. There's a lot of
am
shit
actually
sounds
starting a podcast as soon as I get home from this one. Everybody stay tuned for the Pam Beasley is Trash podcast. There we go. Starting tonight.
With a rhyming title, too.
You really don't like The Office, do you?
I do. I love The Office. I just
let's get into that.
There's some interesting, I think, things going on in there that obviously through...
You have a theory about The Office here.
Well, it's not really so much a theory as it's a scientific fact that Pam Beasley is trash. I think if you watch The Office in reverse, she'll be your least favorite character from that first episode, and then you'll like her more, perhaps. But no, everybody is trash on that show, which is part of the appeal, I think, right? Because everybody in your life has some trash aspect to them, probably, right?
Yeah.
But no, my overall opinion is that Dwight Schrute is obviously the best human being on that show, and everybody else is trash, essentially. Everybody else is committing adultery, right? And wasting company time and assaulting people with, running over people with cars, and just everything is just awful. And they're liars, and they're not honest. They have no spines. And
punching holes in walls.
Right? Andrew Bernard. Come on, bro.
He's not wrong, dude.
Come on,
He's not
Andrew
wrong.
Bernard. What do you guys think about The Office? Who's your guys? Daryl might be a decent guy on The Office.
I always like Daryl.
I think Daryl, the Office guys, the roughnecks.
I always like Steve Carell in The Office. Like whenever he left, I kind of fell off watching the show
100%. His character obviously is amazing, but Michael Scott as a human being, again, garbage.
It'd be a kind of a fun boss to have, though.
Yeah, man, it's the decline of the American business, right? Though it's just a bunch of people fucking around all day.
Yeah, but if you could get paid to work in a place where you could fuck around all day, would you not want to work there?
I mean, I think I have had that job before, but
It's like case in point.
Oh, you worked at Guitar Center?
no, I just
Guilty.
I don't know. I've been kind of without a real boss type figure for many years, and I don't know if I could ever go back to be here at this time and leave at this time. And
that seems to be universal with the people that make it as their own boss. I don't know how you could, to be fair. Like that's
Sure.
Once you are your own master, like why?
I had no idea.
Why succumb to the chains of the working
the
life?
9 to 5.
I completely forgot Hunter was here. He hasn't talked in the last 30 minutes.
I've been too busy listening and laughing. Thank you very much.
What movies you guys seen lately?
I just finished watching 8th Grade.
Eighth grade. Oh, you were talking about that earlier.
A lot.
Yeah.
And now both of you, well, go ahead and talk about it.
It was good because of how real it was. Like when you go see it, you're going to be like, as you're watching it, you're like, do I like this movie? Do I really like this movie? And by the end of it, you're like, that's exactly how my school life was when I was in, public school. And it just nails it right on the head.
I've kind of trained myself. Now I also studied film at UT, so all my favorite movies are the Fast and Furious movies because of Tennessee. I found myself judging movies now not based on necessarily their merits as a film, maybe technically, but just whether or not it makes me feel something.
Sure.
Whether it's
then you're gonna
laughter, happiness, sadness. Like if I feel some way about it other than boredom or raw hatred, then I feel like that's almost a success. Even if it's, oh man, that movie was depressing. Well, at least it made me feel a certain way, as opposed to the normal
like it
capitalist
something.
consumer, bullshit.
Well, see, I find myself watching a lot of movies, especially independent movies, and noticing more of like camera angles and direction that the director went in certain shots. And this one had something very fascinating where she's leaving, the main girl's leaving school, and like the popular girl's mom is in the carpool, and the popular girl sitting in the car. And she goes, "Oh, the mom's like, come here," and calls the girl over, the shy, awkward girl. And as she's talking to the girl, it never focuses in on the mom. The mom's always like this blur in the back of the camera, and it's focused in on the popular girl. And it's like the main girl outside the car can't stop looking at the popular girl, being like, I want to be friends with her. I want to be friends with the popular girl. But the whole time the mom's talking, and you can see behind that girl, blurred out, the mom having a discussion, but it never focuses in on her.
That's where they like some like lens flare, and they allow some of that kind of stuff.
But I thought it was brilliant because basically what the camera was showing you without actually saying it is when a parent, and you're in school and a parent's talking to you and it's like the popular kid's parent, you never care about the parent. Like you're never wondering what the parent looks like. You're always just like, I really want to be friends with this popular person. And so just
I don't know that was my experience necessarily.
I actually was the popular person.
No, okay, well, there you go. No one ever cared what your parent looked like. They just wanted to be friends with you. No, it's just the way it was shot. Like when you go see it, you'll notice like they did it on purpose.
Sean was
they
actually
never
standing, like looking in a mirror, like fucking hey, dude, you've got it going on.
This guy fucks.
This guy fucks
for sure. Well, I always thought this is gonna dive a little deeper into my psyche. I always thought the supreme arrogant thing that you could possibly do, the most narcissistic thing you could do, would to be just stare in the mirror naked and jerk off. Like that would be, you can't get more self-obsessed than masturbating to your own naked.
You guys don't do that?
And there you have it.
I did it twice today. 2 times.
He's like, I mean, what's really bad
you need
is
a bell in here
5
to
times
ring.
in a row,
You need a bell in here that he can ring every time he does it. Every time he can, bing! Like a tip.
Well, now, dude, you guys both saw the movie. What's the Melissa McCarthy Muppet movie
Happy
thing?
Time Murder?
You guys both have a...
Dumpster Fire, the movie?
I'm going to Happy Time murder every writer of that film, perhaps.
Really? Nobody likes it.
If you enjoy Muppet movies...
Don't see this.
I think you should go see it just for the end credits, watching them control the Muppets and doing the sex scene.
I agree.
That was the funniest part of the movie.
I think they should have just made a 30-minute documentary
about puppeteers,
about them doing that. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it was so flat. Like we said earlier,
watching two
that
dudes,
movie is the jokes are still falling out of the sky. Oh God, they have not landed yet. They're just in a perpetual state of descent.
It ate shit bad.
It's rough.
It ate shit real bad. I saw my favorite review was on IMDb, and this gentleman said, if that's not the worst movie of the summer, I'm dreading whatever Hollywood's shitting out next week. And I think that's probably the most accurate statement of that film. Whoa. If you saw a worse movie this summer, please email Spencer.
Yeah, put it in the comments. If there's a worse movie, we've got to know about it.
Now, I will say there's a movie out there right now that I want to see called Summer of '84, and it's apparently supposed to be like this weird suburbia thriller, suspense movie about these kids.
I saw something about that.
Think their neighbor's a murderer.
Okay.
And so they're trying to uncover it, but it's like a group of the Goonies.
Like a Hitchcock type.
Any type of
type
different
thing.
take on Rear Window is always welcome. That never gets old. So
I had a buddy of mine. I can't remember the name. Maybe you can Google it or something. There's a movie about. It was shot in a Thai prison. It's a true story about an English boxer who gets arrested in Thailand and thrown in jail.
Is that movie called Papillon?
No, that's Papillon. That's a French thing. This movie, I want to Sunset and the something. I can't even remember. Google it. I've been drinking and other things today.
There you go.
However,
He's been occupied.
This English boxer gets thrown in a Thai prison, and his only way out is to ascend the ranks of learning Muay Thai and getting out by being a fighter. but it's entirely shot in the Thai prison.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's this actor learning Muay Thai from prisoners in like this notorious prison in Thailand. Like, not
Is
really
it A Prayer Before Dawn?
A Prayer Before Dawn.
That's what it said.
That's, you know, sunrise something or other. You know,
Yeah.
close enough.
Now, do you like documentaries?
I do.
Have you ever seen the documentary called, I think it's called Under the Sun? And it's a Ukrainian
so,
film
no.
crew. I think I've talked about it before on the podcast.
I have not, because the Ukraine is weak.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So it's on Netflix, but a Ukrainian film crew snuck into North Korea to film a movie, a documentary.
Ooh.
And they told them, you can do this documentary in North Korea, but we're going to direct it. And at the end, you're going to give us the footage, and we're going to edit it.
Okay.
They snuck in. They had their camera set up, but then they had another secret camera filming everything behind.
There's
the scenes.
layers to this shit.
And when they took the edited version that North Korea edited, and they left and went back to Ukraine, they threw that away and then took their unedited footage and put it out.
It would be interesting to see those two films one after another.
Back to back.
It'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
The
you
North
can
Korea
basically
one and this
watch
one.
their version, like the edited version, as these guys are filming their version, because literally they're directing the entire population of North Korea on how to be in front of the camera.
One thing I do love about North Korea is the insanity of the claims from the family. You've read like all the crazy shit this guy has claimed that he apparently, I don't know if it's Un is the current one, correct? And then Il is the older one. I
guess,
the
yeah.
father.
Yeah.
Kim Jong Il holds the record for the best round of golf ever. He shot 18 hole-in-ones in a row in a round of golf. That's a world record, by the way, claimed by him.
Oh my god!
They're all just putting greens.
It's worth a Google if you want to hear some crazy shit straight from the mind of a madman. It is insane.
You were talking about movie trailers and stuff. Have you seen? You're not going to like this because it's a movie you're excited about. But the movie The Nun has a new trailer out.
Oh, I haven't seen the
and
new
it's
trailer.
taking a lot of shit.
What's it about?
I haven't seen the new trailer for it.
It's taking a lot of shit online.
You ever seen The Conjuring 2?
Yes, I've seen both of them. I actually enjoyed them as far as current
the
horror
Nun-
movies are concerned. Most of them are garbage, but I thought
true.
those two
It's
were.
true.
That evil nun in the second
Sure,
one.
yeah,
This
yeah.
one's all about like basically it coming about,
Right.
And it takes place in like old Romania. So it's like people have like lanterns and stuff, set of flashlights, and
Yeah.
there's like no electronics. It looks good.
It's
Yeah.
got kind of an Exorcist vibe. It's like a super Catholicism type vibe. But like the thing is,
Why don't they just make a movie about Catholicism? That should terrify enough people, right?
Boom.
old Pappy O'Flannery,
Right?
But
yeah.
fucking
Like the first scene would just be like somewhere in Pennsylvania, and everybody would be just terrified instantly.
Nope, I'm out. I'm out.
Not gonna do. I'm from Pennsylvania, by
run
the way.
screaming
so
from
I
theaters. It's the
So you
scariest thing
could
I've
say
ever
it.
seen.
Yeah.
Catholicism. Oh, it's like a horror movie. No, it's a documentary.
So why is the preview catching
No.
shit, though?
I just saw like literally last night and today. Apparently, the new second trailer for The Nun came out, and people are saying that the CGI in it looks so bad.
They always say that though.
Well, I mean, something about it. I just happened to
I'm
catch
still
it.
going to go see it opening day.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just
I'm
saying.
curious,
Have
though,
you
'cause
seen it? Do you guys agree? Or what do
I
you
haven't
think?
seen it yet, but nothing about that story warrants CGI. There should be no CGI.
I agree.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Unless it's, I think what they're talking about is there's a point where the like Vera Farmiga's sister,
Tessa?
Yeah, Tessa. She plays the nun that's like wearing all white, and like apparently she has the visions of the nun, and like I'm assuming she's the one that's probably going to become possessed.
She's
And
totally going to be the nun in that series.
Yeah, and at one point,
Her sister's got to purge her
yeah,
in the fucking house.
Oh fuck!
Sorry,
you look
Cody.
so familiar. But no, there's one
Stay away
point
from
where
my
her
husband.
head's down. There's one point where her head's down, and another nun's like, "Are you okay?" And she looks up, and her face, like they've superimposed the actual evil nun's face onto hers.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and people are mad about how that CGI looks, I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna go see that movie.
Fair,
I get it.
but that
Because
would
I'm
also,
not going to see a horror movie based on how well it's shot. I'm going to see it on how much it scares the piss out of me.
There you go.
Which
Sure.
is fair, but like if that's the type of image, then it would. You could also beg the question: are people complaining? Because the popular thing now is, well, the CGI was bad, and you're like, motherfucker, no, it wasn't. There's the uncanny valley. You can tell it's not real because it's not real, but that doesn't mean it was
100%.
actually bad.
Yeah.
If you're putting
it's
two
bad
faces,
because you're spoiled.
yeah,
I think Thanos looks stupid in Infinity
He looks
War.
like Grimace.
He doesn't look real.
Shut your fat ass.
He does
up.
not look like a real
Grimace.
alien.
Dude, let's talk about Thanos. Let's
oh yeah,
speak
please.
of Thanos.
I've
Let's
been
talk
waiting
about
for
it.
this.
My hero, Thanos.
Go for it.
Thanos. Well, first of
start
all,
it.
Thanos is a complete communist, right?
Hashtag did nothing wrong.
Balance and everything, right? So he's a complete communist, I think. The questionable part of Thanos' plan, however, as we were talking about earlier, was you snap your fingers and half of all life in the universe dies. So you would reasonably think that half of the population of each planet would be gone, right?
Right.
That's the reasonable way to think about it. So if Earth has 7 billion people and now you cut that population in half, you're down to 3.5 billion,
Right.
Which I believe, if my notes are correct, 3.5 billion people was the population of Earth in 1955.
Oh man, that's
So,
a good point.
so we're trying to change the course of the universe by rewinding time 75 years.
However, how much was gas back in 1955?
I don't know, but could women vote back in 1955?
Hopefully
Almost
not. No, I'm kidding. Oh my God. Kidding.
I mean, he was
kidding.
taking it back.
Oh,
He's
man.
like, he was
Kidding.
making America great again, I think
Yeah,
is what
tell
Thanos
it.
is trying
Tell
to do,
it.
right?
MAGA. That's
He was
what-
making it great again.
Thanos was the
universe-
ultimate MAGA.
believe it
Make
was
the universe
1990.
great again.
Dude, I think,
Mugga?
Mugga.
man, Thanos is, if not my favorite,
Make
one of my
people-
favorite fucking villains. Like,
Make people disappear by snapping your fingers again, I
a
think would be
long
a
one.
good slogan.
But I mean,
man.
I understand where you're coming from, but also I want to think like how much in this day and age, how much everything would drop in price because there's half of the population not buying it anymore.
Well, the first thing everybody would do would go to their neighbor's house and make sure that they were alive. And if they, well, actually, I
if
think
they
I would
weren't,
make
they
sure,
weren't, they'd move in.
I would
Take
make
all their
sure.
shit.
I think I'd make sure they were dead, not make sure they were alive. Is that how does that speak to my?
Hey, look, there's a bunch of ashes
My
on the
mind
ground.
stays
Oh,
two
look,
sides
a
of the
TV.
same coin.
I'm gonna go make sure Gary's dead over here. Like,
You're
wait,
the
aren't you
guest
gonna make
this
sure he's
week.
alive?
You do whatever.
He has a sweet PS4
Yeah,
and
you would
TV
take
setup.
all their- yeah, for
you,
sure.
you'd have roughly a week where you could fucking kill anybody and just blame it on the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
he would want me to have it.
You didn't have to burn them alive. No,
Yeah.
see their ashes.
Yeah.
Whatever, just nobody finds them. You know, like that guy down the street with all the nice guitars. All of a
No,
sudden,
I
have
think
those
I
guitars.
like I like your premise better, where everybody's ashes, and then there's some guy with his throat slit. You're like, hey, Thanos must have done it. I don't know. Some guy shot 12 times. It's Thanos, man.
In your
He's
trunk,
a
you know.
maniac.
As you're holding a gun, you're like, it wasn't me.
You get pulled over and
Like
like fucking Thanos.
12 like child prostitutes run out of your shed, and you're like, fucking Thanos.
Thanos,
This guy,
man.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking Thanos and the
Does
Golden
he
State Warriors.
know-
you know?
no, his evil knows no bounds.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude.
Thanos just becomes a scapegoat for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fucking-
The Catholic
my
Church
God.
is like Thanos, see? It's all Thanos.
He's the alien they
you
knew
guys knew
about.
Thanos was a Catholic, right?
Snap your fingers and molest half of Pennsylvania.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Iron.
The Pope wouldn't have to apologize anymore.
We'll be at the Comedy Shack on October 12th.
You would sell the fuck out, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, totally. 100%,
God.
man. 100%. Fuck, man.
Oh, man.
Horror movies. Have you seen this piece of trash called A Quiet Place?
I haven't seen it yet, but
Loved
everybody.
it.
I'm,
I
okay,
loved it.
You
I want to hear
loved
what
it.
you think.
Yeah. Why did you not love it?
Everybody says it's like the greatest movie to come down the pike, and I'm
Okay.
still fucking far behind on movies. But
Number one,
what's your take on
full
it?
disclosure, I
don't like
saw
Batfleck.
I saw this movie in my living room and not in the theater.
Okay.
I heard that the sound design and sound construction was a big part of the movie. I heard
Seeing
if
it
you
in the
saw it
theater is deafening.
you would probably appreciate it more.
I will say something to
I-
that though. If that's the thing that carries a movie, fuck that movie.
I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it was
It's an
a
added
big
layer.
part of the experiment. I am pretty good at suspending disbelief. You know, just going with the flow. Of course, people in scary movies are stupid. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. I couldn't get past it in this movie. I just couldn't. If you make a noise, like if you cough, you die. So let's have sex and get you pregnant. What the fuck are you talking about?
I gotta
What are
see
you
this thing.
doing?
I gotta see it.
The
now.
woman's pregnant the whole time, and she's not pregnant. Like she wasn't pregnant when the shit hit when incident Ground Zero happened. You know, Ground Zero being whatever this
thing
incident
comes,
was.
yeah.
She wasn't pregnant when that happened. Like, so I feel like she got pregnant after they knew to shut the fuck up. And
Let's have a crying baby.
the opposite of shut the fuck up is a pregnant woman about to have a kid, right? Like it's the opposite of that, you know?
Oh,
So
man.
I really couldn't get past that. That was annoying to me. I don't want to ruin it, but it seems like
I'm
the
not-
military could have handled the situation.
Make a lot of noise and then kill him.
Well, it's not like they killed one by some crazy means. I mean,
They did have to wait for it to open its face to shoot it because everything else was armored.
how could we ever not figure that out?
Well, I
You know,
hadn't
just
thought of it,
seemed-
but the noise from the artillery and all that stuff alone probably actually would have made them like
And-
unfurl.
or,
enough to-
or how many are there? We don't know. Maybe there was 15 trillion of these fucking things. You know, there's no real background information to that. There's another part where they go to the waterfall because the monsters can't hear them at the waterfall. Well, why don't you live at the waterfall?
Oh shit.
Why do you live in the middle of this cornfield then? Like,
Food.
there's a lot of just weird shit that I couldn't get past how just kind of, I don't know.
Now, around the same time, another movie came out. I want to know if you've seen it. It's a movie called Hereditary.
Oh, I was about to
I
go
haven't
there
seen
too.
it.
I was about to go there too.
I'm interested. So I have.
These
but I
two
hadn't.
didn't like it.
No.
I loved it.
I just don't think I just don't think it was the kind of movie for me. Like I said, a bunch of smart people that I love have like there's a local. I don't know if you've ever heard the Dead and Lovely podcast. It's Ben Eller
don't
and some of
think
those.
so, no.
Ben Eller and his friend Steve Spradling do it, and they review horror movies brilliantly. Did you guys check out what they had to say about Predator?
I haven't
yet.
seen it yet.
They do a 3-hour-long episode on Predator. It's
I'm
incredible.
so ready for it.
But not the new one, the old Predator movie.
No, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but anyway, but fucking, they were talking about like it's like a long attention span kind of a horror movie, and like we all went to see it. We actually went to see it with Jessica Clowers.
Okay.
But right after
I
she
listened
was
to
on
that podcast earlier today.
Thank you. Literally, we got up from this table and went and saw Hereditary, and like they were just like, "Whoa, scariest thing I've ever seen." And I think her and I don't want to speak for her, but I think we were kind of like,
That's about how she
sort of
reacted. Yeah.
Kind of boring. And then I talked to our friend Shauna too, and Shauna was like, "Yeah, it's a lot of buildup for not a whole lot of payoff." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't. Am I just not seeing this thing? I mean, I'd love for you to see it and see what you think about it."
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
I came out of the movie and I was just like all jazzed up. I was
Yeah.
like, that was rad. He prayed twice.
I
and
prayed
didn't,
twice
and didn't
watching
watch
the
the
fucking
end.
movie. I
Wait,
did watch
what?
the end.
Yeah.
You prayed
It
because you were scared?
the fuck out
It
of it.
scared the absolute shit out
Really?
of me.
Hereditary.
And he was like, oh, it's too slow. And I was like, that's the point.
You know what a really scary movie in 2018 would be? If you opened up your social medias and you didn't have any likes.
Or if you got a text about being complimented and it turned out it was actually
I gotta check this out.
Oh, that'll be the next Blumhouse movie, complimented.
compliment.
Oh, God.
I will say, anytime I see Bloomhouse, I'm always just like, I gotta go see it. Like
No,
they
fair,
usually
yeah.
do pretty good.
A scary movie where you get a friend request from one of the writers of Happy Time Murders. What?
No.
There's a TV show on one of those wretched networks called Friend Requested by God. There's something about
probably
God sending some dude a friend request,
No.
which seems like a very
shit.
odd method of delivering a message for a God to choose.
Well, if God can
I mean,
break
you're
up with
talking
Casey-
about you're talking about a guy that drowned the whole planet. I don't know. We're talking about a guy that murdered every baby in Egypt, and you think that he's going to send you a friend request?
Well, isn't there a horror movie out right now that's based on social media where like something?
Yeah, the Dark Web or whatever. It's a Blumhouse
there's
movie.
two. There's one
this
called
Defriended
Darknet.
was an older. That one came out about a year ago, though. Didn't
Yeah,
it?
there's one called Friend Request. There's one called The Dark Web, and then there's another one called Searching, which all takes place on like the internet.
And this is all basically a VHS ring kind of
Yeah, yeah.
knockoff.
Have you seen the
essentially.
VHS movies?
I've seen the first one. It's amazing. I love it.
I still need
The
to see
second
it.
the second one's not as good as the first. Still awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Third
yeah.
one's trash. Don't waste your time.
Sure.
Viral. It's-
Human Centipede.
nope.
Oh, that apparently happened
Have
for
we?
real
No, it's
here.
fake.
No. Yeah,
No,
that's
fake.
what I wanted to
Okay.
talk
But,
about.
Yeah, it went around this week. They said
Yeah.
there was a real human centipede guy in Knoxville.
I didn't click on the link,
Some
so-
guy made a website. It's called usatoday.go.
.go. Oh yeah.
Go.
So my friend- yeah.
This fucking diabolical son
guy.
of a bitch. .go. So obviously everybody's like, yeah, it's USA Today. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
He
And,
deserves so much credit. for
Three
that. That's
fucking
great.
people sent it to me.
Who picked Knoxville as the place for that to happen? Like, were they like, what's like just
I don't know.
darts at a dartboard? That didn't happen in
No, they probably just
Fayetteville?
looked. They
That
probably just
didn't
looked
happen
at
in
our
Mobile.
football team and everything else going on around Knoxville, and they're like, "That seems about
Right.
right."
Human centipede. I had to correct him and to say human walrus. Actually, is what I was trying to make.
Oh, yeah,
Trying to
yeah.
tusk this son
Tusk
of a bitch.
this guy out.
I'm glad that they tusked what's the actor in that movie?
Justin Long.
Yes. I'm glad they tussed the hell out of that dude. I don't like that guy. I don't know. It's
I thought the CGI
it's
was
nothing
bad in
personal.
it, though.
It's just that your work is dog shit. You know, like I don't think he's personally a bad dude.
It's not that you're a bad guy. Just everything you do
Just
sucks.
everything you do, I hate.
He was
So-
the bomb in Jeepers Creepers.
Jeep. Okay.
Whoa.
Jeepers Creepers 3 was something that I tried to watch one night.
Whoa.
I
And
couldn't
got
get 5 minutes into it.
Yeah, and it was just
The fucking, just like the dumb, again, I'm with you, stupid people in horror movies is fine, but Jeepers Creepers 3 started and it was just a bunch of screaming, cussing, dumb, meat-headed,
yeah.
stupid high schoolers and shit. And I was like, this is not...
Y'all drink beer and fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna fuck Jeepers Creepers. Damn, I wouldn't try to fuck Jeepers Creepers.
I'm glad it was on Netflix and I didn't waste any money
exactly.
on that shit.
Oh man, there's some terrible movies.
It
on
was
that
bad.
one.
Yeah, what was that one movie? Oh god, it was something about like the end of the world or some shit.
I don't know.
Like half a movie. Like it gets to like the climax of the problem, and then it just
Oh,
black
I
screen
think I know
credits.
what you're... I don't remember what it's
Oh
called, but
my-
I saw something like that.
What
I was just like, what?
What movie?
What a dick move.
Some
it-
Netflix
Original,
made
yeah.
thing.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Batista was in it, right? Did you...
No, I don't think Batista was in
He was
that
in one like that.
He's in
Dude.
some sort of like zombie like war movie.
Yeah, it was... So I guess we were thinking, there's 2 of them out there. Great.
Sure.
2 horrible...
You're talking about Extinction with Michael Pena.
No, I'm not. But I know what you're talking about. I think I tried to watch it, and it was like Netflix was like, yeah, you don't really want to watch it.
Or are you talking about
all right, Netflix,
This Is
whatever.
the End with Forrest Whitaker?
Yes. Is
Oh,
that what
God.
it's called? This is the end, or
Something
the
like
end,
that.
the end
The
of
end.
everything, or something like that?
But it's Forrest Whitaker, and he's like the dad of a girl, and the boyfriend comes over to his house and is like, you know, I can't get in touch with her, and he's like, let's go, and they hop in and go on a road trip across apocalyptic America trying to find their
Okay.
girlfriend and daughter.
Yeah, and they realized that they had friendship the whole time.
Oh my god.
No, they don't. It's a terrible movie that's about halfway written, and by the end, like it's one of those ambiguous endings where you're like, that. I feel like you ended it there because you didn't write the rest of the movie. You didn't write the rest of the film.
Or you just went to bed.
The
Yeah.
You
Batista...
just gave up and went to
The
bed.
Batista one's probably something about
It's way better.
corrupt cops.
Well, no,
and
the Batista one
selling-
starts out with a girl walking home from work,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, it's like apparently the whole movie is one continuous shot kind of movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies where like she's walking home from work and all of a sudden a war breaks out in the middle of like New York City. And
Yeah,
then it's
so-
just about her surviving. She meets Batista and like
walking through
Well, I'll tell you what,
apocalyptic
she's off to
neighborhoods.
a good start if she's meeting David Batista. I mean, it could be fucking worse, you know?
He was pretty good in it, but it did the same thing. I mostly liked that one. It had a decent story, but it built to a crescendo. And then as you were getting to the top of the hill, it was like, and we're done.
What
Yeah.
if instead of meeting David Batista in the middle of a war, you met like Paul Giamatti, and it was just some guy who was completely incapable?
I'd ask him to do the
of
orangutan
doing
thing.
anything to help you.
I would steal his wine and leave. At one point in the movie, though, Dave Batista stands still and completely disappears. So I thought that was pretty cool.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Come on, man, Avenger.
Well, guys, we're kind of starting to get near the end of our time.
Oh,
here.
we
Sean,
wrapping up?
We're going to wrap. Sean, thank you so much for coming on, dude.
Hey, no
I feel
problem.
like we've got a lot more of these in us, dude. You got to come back. Will you come back and hang out with us again when you get back in town?
I should come back. Yes, after this next run of 3 things,
Fucking
maybe
A.
like middle of October or something.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, man, we're excited to hear about your adventures.
Can we laser point all of everyone's physical flaws, like Howard Stern? When I come back.
Yeah, 100%. We'll do a bulleted point. Yeah.
It's gonna be a long episode.
We'll have a PowerPoint presentation. Fucking, yeah, dude, right on. So, anyway, why don't you tell them where they can find us on social media, Case?
Find us on Instagram at Beacon House Knox. I deleted Twitter, so don't even bother going on Twitter and trying to find
Jeez.
us there because it's a trash site.
Okay.
It's trash. It's Pam Beasley.
So the Beacon House Twitter's gone?
Bam Beasley level.
Unless you guys want to take it over, I'm done.
Oh, no,
'Cause
that's-
we
that's
had
fine.
10 followers, and every time I logged in, it was just nothing but trash through the feed, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
The hell with it.
Facebook, you can find us at the Beacon House Podcast. On YouTube, the Beacon House Podcast. And that's pretty much it for social media. That's
Dang right. And guys,
hey, let me get my shameless plugs in.
oh man,
Yeah.
tell
Oh,
us,
yeah,
tell
yeah.
us all about, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about Sean Ireland right here.
There's a lot of things here. Shout out to 24/8 Management, who hires me all the time. Shout out to Steve's Promo. They throw shows down here. They used to, at least, and they throw all these festivals. Shout out to my Instagram page, at Icon with a Nikon. I'm very humble.
Awesome.
Very humble. And shout out to everybody going and still seeing live music, local, national,
I'm a terrible
regional.
person.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we got to get you.
Yeah.
we'll get you straightened out. But keep hope alive.
Absolutely. And Hunter, what do you got?
Nothing.
Man, I want to say, I don't know if this is going to be the one, if this is going to be episode 29 or 30. We don't know what order these last two are going to go, but this is either going to be almost before or directly before the next mailbag episode. So we are taking questions, blah, blah, blah. Somebody had kind of mentioned.
We want advice questions.
Yeah.
We want to know if
yeah.
you have any problems going on, you want to hear us three dicks try to fix it for you.
Yeah,
we
that's
won't, but please send them in.
And I think I could probably reach out. I think I know how to get a hold of Sean. So if somebody would like some advice from Sean Ireland, which I personally think would be fucking phenomenal. If you'd like
You
Sean to
feel
give you some
that's-
advice on your issues,
It might sting a little bit.
send it to us. We'll reach out to him. We'll read it on the podcast. Episode 30, we'll read it.
I plan on reaching out to him at 2:00 in the morning when he's either asleep and wake him up to ask him a question, or he's been in a bar and I want to ask him a question.
Please.
I think that would turn out pretty well. So yeah, you guys all have that to look forward to. We're not apologizing for anything.
Nothing.
All
Nothing.
right. And okay, well, I'm Spence.
I'm Casey.
I'm Hunter.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Oh my.